In the small coastal town of Brighton, nestled between rolling hills and the sea, Emma Parker lived a life of quiet resilience. At 28, her world was a delicate balance of survival and hope. Each morning, before the sun had fully risen, she would wake up in her tiny apartment, the soft breathing of her aging dog Max the only sound breaking the silence. The bakery where Emma worked was a warm, inviting place, filled with the comforting smell of fresh bread and pastries. Her hands, calloused from years of hard work, moved quickly and efficiently as she prepared morning treats. She wasn't just an employee, she was the first to arrive and the last to leave, her dedication etched into every carefully arranged croissant and carefully decorated cake. Life hadn't been kind to Emma. 2 years ago, she lost her mother to a long illness that had drained their family's limited resources. Medical bills had piled up like unwelcome guests, refusing to leave. Emma had put her own dreams on hold, working not just one, but 2 jobs to keep herself afloat. The morning shift at the bakery melted into evening cleaning work at the local community centre. Her days a continuous stream of effort and determination. Max, her loyal companion, was more than just a pet. He was her family, her confidant. An old golden retriever with greying fur and gentle eyes. He had been her mother's dog before becoming her closest friend. On tough days when the weight of her responsibilities felt crushing, Max would rest his head on her lap, a silent reminder that she wasn't entirely alone. The small apartment they shared told a story of practical living. Every piece of furniture had a purpose, every decoration carefully chosen or lovingly inherited. A worn photograph of her mother sat on the side table, a constant reminder of the strength she had learned from the most important woman in her life. Financial struggles were a constant companion. Emma's budget was a carefully crafted masterpiece of necessity. Every pound was tracked, every expense considered. She would often sit by the window in the evenings, calculator in hand, planning and replanning her finances. Sometimes the numbers would blur with her tears of frustration, but she never allowed herself to stay defeated for long. Beyond her jobs, Emma harbored a secret dream. Nursing had always been her passion, a calling she had set aside when her mother fell ill. She would read medical journals in her spare moments, watching medical documentaries, keeping her passion alive through knowledge. The dream lived quietly, in her heart, waiting for its moment. The community center where she worked in the evenings was more than just a job. It was a place of connection, of hope. She would watch families gather, children play, elderly people share stories. In those moments, Emma would feel a sense of belonging, even if she wasn't directly part of those moments. Her colleagues knew her as the reliable one, the woman who could be counted on, who would step in without complaint, who carried herself with a quiet dignity that spoke volumes. They didn't know about her struggles, the late-night worries, the constant juggling of survival. Winter in Brighton was particularly challenging. Heating bills would climb, and Emma would bundle up Max and herself, finding warmth in each other's company. She would cook simple, nutritious meals, ensuring Max was well fed, often sacrificing her own comfort for her faithful companion. Despite everything, Emma maintained a sense of hope. It wasn't a loud, triumphant hope, but a quiet, persistent belief that things would get better. Every evening as she looked out of her apartment window at the town settling into night, she would whisper to herself and to Max, "One day, things will change." Her life was a testament to human resilience, not the dramatic Hollywood-style resilience, but the everyday kind. The resilience of getting up every morning, of putting one foot in front of the other, of believing that hard work and kindness would eventually create a path forward. As the night settled over Brighton, Emma would prepare for another day. Max would curl up beside her, a warm presence of unconditional love. And in that small apartment, in that quiet moment, hope would quietly breathe, waiting for its chance to bloom. The world outside might be challenging, unpredictable, even harsh. But inside this small space, Emma Parker was writing her own story, one of quiet strength, unwavering hope, and the profound beauty of everyday survival. The community center where Emma worked stood as a beacon of hope in Brighton's quiet landscape. Its old brick walls held countless stories, and on this particular evening, a new chapter was about to unfold. Richard Thompson, the local librarian, walked in carrying a stack of books, his glasses slightly fogged from the chilly evening air. Emma was struggling with several heavy boxes, her arms straining against their weight. Years of hard work had made her strong, but these boxes seemed determined to test her limits. Just as she was about to lose her grip, a pair of hands steadied the boxes from the other side. "Let me help you," Richard said, his voice kind and gentle. Emma looked up, surprised by the unexpected assistance. Richard was different from most people she encountered. There was a warmth in his eyes that spoke of genuine compassion. As they set the boxes down, Richard noticed Emma's tired but determined expression. He'd seen her around the community center, many times always working, always moving. Something about her caught his attention, a quiet strength that seemed to radiate from her very being. Their conversation began simply. Richard learned about Emma's work at the bakery, her evening shifts at the community center, and her love for healthcare. He listened carefully, asking thoughtful questions that went beyond casual small talk. Emma found herself sharing more than she usually would, surprised by the ease of their connection. "Have you ever considered continuing your education?" Richard asked, noticing the spark in Emma's eyes when she talked about medical work. She hesitated, explaining how financial constraints and family responsibilities had interrupted her dreams of becoming a nurse. Richard's work at the local library had given him insight into various scholarship programs. He pulled out a folder he'd been carrying filled with information about adult learning opportunities. "There are more options than you might think," he said, spreading out the documents on a nearby table. Over the next hour, Richard walked Emma through different scholarship possibilities. Each page represented a potential pathway, a chance to transform her life. He showed her programs specifically designed for working adults, for those with financial challenges, for people just like her. Emma's hands trembled slightly as she looked through the documents. Years of suppressed hope began to bubble to the surface. The possibility of becoming a nurse, something she had long considered an impossible dream, suddenly felt within reach. Richard wasn't just offering information, he was offering genuine support. He explained application processes, helped her understand complex forms, and shared stories of other adults who had successfully returned to education. His kindness was practical, not just sympathetic. Max, who usually waited patiently for Emma during her work shifts, seemed to sense something important was happening. He sat quietly nearby, his old eyes watching the conversation with what seemed like understanding. The community center, usually bustling with activity, had grown quiet. The fluorescent lights cast a soft glow on the table where Emma and Richard sat, surrounded by scholarship papers and unspoken possibilities. In that moment, something shifted in Emma's world. For the first time in years, Emma felt truly seen, not as a worker who could be easily overlooked, but as a person with potential, with dreams, with a future waiting to be claimed. Richard's support was more than just practical help. It was a recognition of her worth. As the evening drew to a close, Richard helped Emma organize the documents. He wrote down contact numbers, highlighted important dates, and gave her his personal contact information. "Don't hesitate to reach out if you need help," he said, his smile warm and encouraging. Walking home that night, Emma felt different. The boxes she had been carrying seemed lighter, not just physically but metaphorically. The weight of her past struggles seemed to have been slightly lifted by this unexpected connection. Max trotted beside her, sensing her changed mood. He looked up at her, tail wagging, as if he too understood that something important had happened. The streets of Brighton, usually familiar and somewhat mundane, now seemed filled with possibility. Hope, which had been a quiet whisper in Emma's heart, was now beginning to find its voice. One unexpected connection had opened a door she had long believed was permanently closed. The journey ahead would be challenging, but for the first time in years, Emma felt ready to walk through that door. The night wrapped around her like a gentle promise, carrying the first seeds of a transformation that was about to begin. The alarm clock cut through the early morning silence, its sharp sound a daily reminder of Emma's determined journey. Balancing her nursing studies with work had become a delicate dance of survival and ambition. Her small apartment now looked different. Textbooks replaced family photos, study notes covered every available surface, and her once organized space reflected the chaos of her new challenging path. Max watched her with understanding eyes as Emma juggled multiple responsibilities. Some mornings, she would prepare her study materials while making bakery sandwiches, her nursing textbooks propped. Open beside mixing bowls, the bakery owner, seeing her dedication, had adjusted her morning shifts to support her educational journey. Her scholarship required maintaining a high grade point average, which meant sacrificing everything else. Sleep became a luxury. Some nights Emma would study until 2 a.m., her tired eyes scanning medical terminology, Max sleeping quietly beside her worn study chair. The community center cleaning job became her sanctuary of reflection, quiet moments stolen between mopping floors and reviewing complex medical concepts. A significant challenge arrived unexpectedly with Max's health. The aging dog, her most faithful companion, began showing signs of illness. Veterinary bills loomed like a dark cloud, threatening to derail her carefully planned educational journey. One evening, during a routine checkup, the veterinarian delivered news that made Emma's heart sink. Max needed expensive medical treatment. Panic threatened to overwhelm her. The treatment cost would easily consume her limited savings, potentially forcing her to drop out of her nursing program. Tears threatened, but Emma refused to let them fall. She had come too far to give up now. Richard, her unexpected mentor, became a crucial support system. When Emma shared her concerns, he didn't offer empty sympathy but practical help. He helped her explore payment plans, contacted local veterinary support groups, and even reached out to his network for potential financial assistance. Her nursing program exposed her to both professional challenges and personal growth. Her life experiences made her an empathetic student, understanding pain and struggle in ways textbooks couldn't teach. Her instructors noticed her unique perspective, recognizing that her challenges had given her a depth of understanding beyond traditional students. A senior nurse at her training facility, Margaret Williams, took special interest in Emma's journey. She saw something special in the determined young woman, a resilience that couldn't be taught, only experienced. Margaret began mentoring Emma, providing guidance that went beyond medical procedures. "Your experiences are your strength," Margaret would tell her during late-night study sessions. "What you've survived will make you an extraordinary nurse." The community rallied around Emma in unexpected ways. The bakery staff started a small support fund for Max's medical treatment. Her nursing classmates organized study groups that accommodated her work schedule. Richard continued providing resources and emotional support. Max's treatment became a turning point. The veterinarian, moved by Emma's dedication, offered a reduced payment plan. Local animal welfare organizations contributed towards his medical expenses. Emma's determination had transformed potential tragedy into a community support story. Balancing work, studies, and Max's medical care became Emma's daily challenge. She would wake at 4 a.m., prepare for the bakery, attend nursing classes, clean at the community center, and then spend evenings caring for Max. Her days were a complex choreography of survival and hope. Some nights, exhaustion would threaten to break her spirit. She would look at Max, remember her mother's strength, and find renewed determination. Her journey was more than personal achievement. It was a testament to human resilience. Her nursing instructors began recognizing her potential. They saw beyond her academic performance, understanding the incredible journey behind her success. Emma wasn't just studying to become a nurse, she was transforming her entire life's narrative. As winter approached, Emma's world seemed to be slowly shifting. The challenges remained, but so did her hope. Max's health was improving, her nursing studies were progressing, and her support network had grown stronger. One quiet evening, watching Max sleep peacefully, Emma realized something profound. Her journey wasn't just about becoming a nurse or surviving financial challenges. It was about proving that with determination, support, and love, anything was possible. The path remained challenging, but Emma was ready. One step at a time, she was rebuilding her world, transforming her dreams into reality. Emma's nursing program became a gateway to transformation, challenging everything she had previously understood about her capabilities. The sterile hospital corridors, once intimidating, now felt like pathways of possibility. Her instructors noticed something different about her, a quiet determination that set her apart from other students. Margaret Williams, the senior nurse, who had become her mentor, saw potential that went beyond medical skills. During clinical rotations, Emma's approach to patient care was uniquely compassionate. Her own experiences of struggle seemed to translate into a deep understanding of human vulnerability. One particular patient, an elderly man named George Thompson, became a turning point in Emma's professional journey. George had been admitted with a complex medical condition and was struggling with depression. While other nurses followed standard procedures, Emma saw beyond the medical charts. She would spend extra moments with George, listening to his stories about life before his illness. Her ability to connect went far deeper than medical treatment. She understood that healing wasn't just about medication, but about human connection. George's recovery became more than a medical success. It was a testament to compassionate care. Richard continued supporting her journey, helping her navigate the complex world of professional development. He would review her academic papers, offer guidance, and provide emotional support during challenging times. Their friendship had become a crucial support system, bridging her personal and professional worlds. The nursing program exposed challenges Emma had never anticipated. Academic pressure combined with her existing work responsibilities created a delicate balance. Some days she would arrive at clinical rotations after working early morning shifts at the bakery, her eyes tired but her spirit unbroken. Her colleagues began recognizing her unique approach. Where some saw a challenging patient, Emma saw an opportunity for genuine care. Her instructors started highlighting her as an example of compassionate nursing, understanding that medical skills were just one part of healthcare. Max remained her constant companion through this journey. Despite his aging health, he seemed to sense the importance of her transformation. On difficult evenings, he would curl up beside her study materials, offering silent support during late-night revision sessions. Financial challenges continued, but Emma had developed remarkable problem-solving skills. She negotiated flexible work arrangements, applied for additional scholarships, and found creative ways to manage her limited resources. Each obstacle became an opportunity for growth. The community center where she had once worked cleaning floors now invited her to speak about her nursing journey. Her story of transformation began inspiring other adults considering returning to education. Emma, once invisible, was now becoming a beacon of hope. Her relationship with Richard evolved into a meaningful friendship. He understood her journey in ways others couldn't, providing guidance without overwhelming her independence. His support went beyond practical help. He believed in her potential more than she believed in herself. During clinical rotations, Emma discovered her true calling wasn't just about medical treatment. It was about understanding human experiences, about providing care that went beyond physical healing. Her own journey of survival had prepared her for this profound understanding. Margaret recognized Emma's potential and began recommending her for specialized training opportunities. Where other students saw challenges, Emma saw opportunities for learning and growth. Her perspective was slowly changing the traditional understanding of nursing care. The bakery owner, who had supported her flexible work arrangements, became another unexpected mentor. He would share stories of his own challenges, creating a support network that extended beyond her immediate professional environment. As her nursing program progressed, Emma realized her journey was about more than personal achievement. It was about breaking systemic barriers, about proving that determination could overcome seemingly impossible obstacles. Her world was expanding. The small-town girl, who once felt limited by circumstances, was now becoming a professional with the power to create meaningful change. Each clinical rotation, each study session, each challenging moment was transforming her understanding of herself. Max watched her transformation with what seemed like proud understanding. The dog who had been her constant companion through years Eve's struggle now witnessed her becoming the person she had always dreamed of being. Emma's journey wasn't just about becoming a nurse. It was about proving that background, financial challenges and previous limitations could never define a person's potential. She was breaking barriers, not just for herself, but for everyone who had ever felt their dreams were out of reach. The path remained challenging, but Emma was no longer afraid. She was ready to write her own story, one compassionate moment at a time. The graduation day arrived like a golden promise. Brighton's community centre, where Emma had once cleaned floors, now hosted her nursing program's celebration. Rows of chairs filled with proud families, and at the centre stood Emma, her white nursing uniform crisp and perfect, representing everything she had overcome. Max, now slower but still vibrant, sat near the front with Richard. The old dog seemed to understand the significance of this moment, his eyes fixed proudly on Emma. Richard held a small camera, determined to capture every moment of her transformation. Emma's journey hadn't been just about obtaining a nursing degree. It represented years of struggle, sacrifice, and unwavering determination. Her colleagues whispered about her remarkable story: the bakery worker who became a compassionate healthcare professional. Margaret Williams, her mentor, sat in the front row. Her eyes glistened with pride as Emma's name was called. Each step Emma took across the stage felt like a victory, not just for herself but for everyone who had ever faced seemingly impossible challenges. The first job offer came from the local community health centre, the same place where she had once worked, cleaning floors. The irony wasn't lost on Emma. She would now be helping people facing similar struggles, understanding their challenges in ways traditional healthcare often missed. Her approach to nursing was different. Emma didn't just see medical conditions. She saw human stories. Each patient represented a journey, a struggle, a hope. Her own experiences had taught her that healing went beyond medical procedures. It was about understanding, compassion, and genuine connection. Richard's support had been instrumental. He had been more than a friend. He had been a bridge between her past and her future. During the graduation ceremony, he discreetly wiped a tear, understanding the magnitude of her achievement. The community of Brighton seemed to celebrate with her. The bakery owner who had supported her flexible work schedules, her nursing instructors, the community centre staff. Everyone felt connected to her success. Her story had become a beacon of hope for others. Max's health had improved significantly. The expensive treatment, which once seemed an impossible financial burden, had given him additional years of life. He was now a symbol of Emma's journey, resilient, hopeful, and unbroken. Her first weeks as a professional nurse were challenging but incredibly rewarding. She worked with patients from diverse backgrounds, applying the same compassion she had learned through her own struggles. Each patient became more than a medical case. They became a person with a story. Financial stability, something that had seemed like a distant dream, was now becoming a reality. Emma could now support herself comfortably, provide better care for Max, and even start saving for future opportunities. Her hard work had transformed her economic landscape. The relationship with Richard had evolved into a deep, meaningful friendship. He continued supporting her professional growth, offering guidance and celebrating her achievements. Their connection represented the power of unexpected human support. Emma's story began inspiring others. The community centre started hosting workshops where she shared her journey, encouraging adults to pursue education despite challenges. Her narrative became a powerful testament to human potential. Margaret continued mentoring her, seeing Emma not just as a successful student, but as a future leader in compassionate healthcare. She recognized that Emma's approach to nursing was revolutionary, combining professional skills with deep human understanding. The bakery, where her journey had begun, remained a cherished part of her story. She would still visit, maintaining connections with the people who had supported her initial struggles. Her transformation hadn't meant forgetting her roots, but celebrating them. Max, growing older but still loyal, remained her constant companion. On quiet evenings, they would sit together reflecting on their remarkable journey. The dog who had been her support through countless challenges now watched her thrive. Emma's life had become a powerful narrative of hope. She had transformed from a struggling bakery worker to a compassionate nurse, proving that determination, support, and belief could overcome any obstacle. As sunset painted Brighton's sky, Emma looked out her apartment window. Max sat beside her, both reflecting on a journey that seemed impossible just a few years ago. Her transformation was complete, not just as a professional, but as a human being who had discovered her true potential. The world seemed full of possibilities, and Emma was ready to embrace them, one compassionate moment at a time.